information's a bit out there sometimes.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2024 thriller with a little bit of a supernatural twist, Blackwater Lane. The film is directed by Jeff Celentano and it stars Minka Kelly, Dermot Mulroney and Maggie Grace. Now the film focuses on Minka Kelly's character Cass. The film is set in England, which is a bit odd because all the main characters are American, but never mind. So Cass, she is working as a teacher at a local school. Her husband has bought the local mansion. Her best friend is Maggie Grace, Rachel. Things seem to be going well. And then there is a murder that takes place on a place called Blackwater Lane. And that's the same route that Cass takes on her way home from a night out with some of her colleagues from school. She notices a car parked at the side of the road, but doesn't think anything of it. But it turns out that the car and person that she spotted is the one that has been murdered. Slowly but surely, she feels like she's got a real connection to this death, this killing. Some of the evidence then starts pointing towards her. She's also suffered with her mental health in the past, and she thinks she's relapsing, and it all basically comes crashing down. Right, what are my thoughts on Blackwater Lane? Well, like I said at the beginning, this is primarily a thriller, but there is a supernatural twist or edge to the film. Very light sprinkling of supernatural elements into this film. Let's get these strong points out of the way first, I suppose. It's got a strong cast here. The film has been cast well by actors that you can rely on. I don't know Minka Kelly. I'm sure I probably have seen her in some stuff, but she is very, very strong as this lead, Cass. This woman who thinks she's losing her mind, really, as the film progresses. There's mental health issues in her family. When she lost her mother a few years previously, she was basically needed therapy and stuff, and she was put away for like mental health issues. So she's been treated for that. She's all okay and stuff, but with everything that's going on with this murder and her seemingly feeling like that she's been haunted almost, you know what I mean? She thinks that her mental health issues have come back to haunt her, and so does her husband, so does her friend, so does everybody really. But she's determined. She feels like she knows what's going on with this killing. She feels like there's someone trying to tell her something, someone trying to reach out and communicate with her, all this kind of stuff that's going on. So I think she does a good job on what is actually quite a complex performance. And then you've got Dermot Mulroney, who's always solid. Any film that he does, and he plays like the supporting husband here. And Maggie Grace, Maggie Grace again is always reliable, playing the best friend Rachel. So he's got a strong, triangle of leads here in this film. It's got an interesting mystery going on here, but it doesn't feel anything more than. And I don't know if anybody else other than the UK will get this reference. Like on a Sunday evening, we've got like these murder mysteries that come on quite a lot. Really quite tame murder mysteries. They get this TV detective to solve them sort of stuff. It feels a little bit like that. It feels at that kind of level. The whole production feels like that, but the whole mystery and everything, it just feels like, a Sunday night TV movie almost. There's no edge to it, this film. There's nothing to really draw you in and put you on the edge of your seat. Now, for me, a thriller should exactly be that, thrilling. And it never really is, really. It's intriguing at times, and the mystery is quite interesting. But ultimately, it's hard to say much more without giving spoilers away, but ultimately I think the film kind of fizzles out. There is a conclusion to the film that's not really a surprise, I suppose. But the conclusion that you get, it puts to one side other things that have happened in the film. So you never really get any other answers in regards to other aspects of the film. And again, I don't want to say any much more because I don't want to spoil anything if you're going to watch this film. But I found the film was also full of like loads of different tropes in films like this. You know, she's hearing strange noises, someone calling out her name. And yet she's walking through this big mansion on her own with the lights off. Hello? You know, if I woke up in my bed and I could hear someone whispering or shouting my name in a ghostly way, I ain't going to walk around my house with all lights off. Every single light in this house would be on, and I'd be picking up baseball bats and everything else that I could find. They just don't behave like real people, and it does frustrate you when you see it. And then there's things that happen to her that if somebody else was with her, they couldn't deny it. And yet, in this day and age, everybody's got a phone on them. She never thinks to take a picture of these things, to show it as evidence, ever. So again, it feels like it doesn't belong in this world, in this time, because anybody in that position would be taking pictures of things like that to evidence that they've actually seen it or it's happened to them. But, you know, the whole, is she losing her mind or is she being messed about? Is she being haunted? You know, that mystery does, you know, bubble away throughout quite nicely, the film. It keeps it interesting because you do kind of want to know what the outcome is, sort of thing. But it doesn't really satisfy. You don't get a satisfying supernatural conclusion. You don't get a satisfying non-supernatural conclusion. It's all very kind of generic and paint by numbers by the end, if you like. And it does kind of feel like the whole thriller has been kind of, you know, it's just a tick box exercise in many ways. What makes it watchable and what makes it bearable is the cast and the fairly interesting mystery that runs on throughout it. Beyond that, it's not one that I can strongly recommend. It's one of those that if you see on streaming or something like that, if it pops up, you know, you could do far worse. You might actually quite enjoy it, but beyond that, it's not one that I can strongly recommend. So thanks for watching this review. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.